What is up, everybody? SweatahVest here, and today we're going to be doing a very special type of video. We're going to be outlining the .hack timeline, and we're going to be going through the entire canonical timeline. But instead of just a video by myself describing the timeline, we're actually doing a first on this channel. We're going to be doing a collaboration video with an expert in all things .hack, my good friend Twilight Chrono.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
So his channel is a lot of different things. Primarily, though, he does a lot of awesome .hack videos. He is an expert. He's played pretty much every game. He's seen a lot of the novels, read the mangas, the anime. So he is a expert in the field, and if there's anyone to go to about .hack, he's the guy. If you guys are interested in his videos, I'm going to link his channel down below. Please check it out.
Please do, guys. They are awesome.
Yep, I can attest to that. They're really awesome videos, great editing. But to get into the timeline for .hack, we are going to start off with the event that started the entire thing, and that is Pluto's Kiss. So, Twilight, do you have anything to talk about with Pluto's Kiss?
The story with Pluto's Kiss begins on December 24th, 2005. Pluto's Kiss is a worldwide computer virus that downed the world's connection for 77 minutes, leading to global shutdowns. The incident is said to be attributed to actions of a 10-year-old student in Los Angeles, California. The only operating system that survived the incident is Ultimate OS, designed by a company with close ties to CC Corp, the developers of the world. This creates the reputation of CC Corp and establishes trust in their products, leading to the mass following of their project, The World, 5 years later.
Okay, so from my understanding with Ultimate OS, it's designed by a company called Ultimate, but some secret dealings went down, and they actually had some really close ties with CC Corp or CyberConnect, and that is actually the developers that are responsible for this entity known as The World. Now, The World may sound kind of foreign to you guys right now, but trust me, we're going to go very into The World further down into the video. Right, so this is where we're going to start the timeline for .hack. And like he said, The World is a game, and it's an online game, and it emerges 5 years later after Pluto's Kiss, so that places the timeline for .hack in 2010. And the first entry in the .hack series is a novel known as .hack AI Buster. So if my friend Twilight would like to tell us a little about AI Buster.
As you see here, I put a picture up on your screen, which is the official timeline, canonical timeline of the entire .hack series, and we're gonna go through that. This is just this is gonna be the first of many videos that me and my good friend here are gonna do. So we're gonna try and keep each video somewhat short to keep your interest. But when it comes to AI Buster, it's a novel about the system admin Albero, who is the leader of Cobalt Knights. Think the Knights from the .hack Signs series. They're a debug team responsible for testing out the world and hunting down the wandering AI Licorice.
Through my research, if you will, of AI Buster, I came to this one, I guess, boss. His name is the One Sin, and through my research of the other series, this name keeps popping up, but I'm not too sure what it is. So if you could kind of provide some explanation, what exactly is the One Sin, and what is the importance that boss holds to the series?
Anybody who's seen .hack Sign or really any of the .hacks have heard the names Balmung of the Azure Sky, Orc of the Azure Sea, and Kite of the Azure Flame. They got those names. Their names were already Balmung, Orca, and Kite, but the Azure part of their name, their nickname, comes from this three-man party that defeated the world's one undefeatable boss called the One Sin, and that's how they got their name.
Really interesting stuff there. So after AI Buster, we're going to go on to the second entry in the series known as .hack Zero, which from my understanding is a novel, and it's going to be detailing this one specific character who's a reoccurring entity in the .hack series. His name is Sora, and he's a PK player. So if you guys have had any experience with like Sword Art Online, I'm not a huge fan, but I've seen it. And if you guys have seen it, you can draw the connection here. PK players are known as player killers. So this guy is a bad dude. He goes around and kills other players. and Dot Hack 0 is all about him. He's actually an important entity in Dot Hack Sign and the later series Dot Hack Roots and the game series Dot Hack GU. So keep that name in your mind, Sora.
He is also in the first 4 games, IMOQ, Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine, although he does not appear until Outbreak, if I remember correctly, as you free him from this bugged monster in one of the dungeons, in which after you do, he reawakens from his coma. For those of you who are not familiar with who Sora is, we'll get into that here in a bit.
Yeah, so while we're talking about Dot Hack Sign, that's going to be the 3rd entry in the Dot Hack series. So Twilight, you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Dot Hack Sign is the first anime of the series, and it chronicles and follows Tsukasa and the Crimson Knights, and the search for the Key of the Twilight, a legendary item that allows you to bypass all the systems of the world. All the while, Tsukasa is stuck in the game. He's in a coma in real life, but he can feel pain, sadness. He can feel the coldness of the air in the world, the heat, all that, and he's trying to figure out what's going on with him and try to get out.
Now, is Tsukasa, is he the only one that's stuck in the game at this time?
At this point in time, yes.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so after Dot Hack Sign, the anime, comes Dot Hack, the video games, and there's actually 4 of them. I'm getting kind of foggy on the names, but could you fill me in? Volume 1 is known as... Infection, okay. What about the other ones?
The order goes Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine. With each disc of the game, there came a OVA disc called Dot Hack Liminality with each copy of the game, and it centers on the real world, what's going on in the real world at the time the stuff is going on in the game that you're playing. And whenever they do something major in the game, something major happens in the real world that this investigation team winds up having to go through. And then there's also a book series called Dot Hack Another Birth, which it happens during 0 and Another Birth, and basically it's the retelling of Infection, Mutation, Outbreak, and Quarantine from the point of view of Black Rose. So you get to see what she was doing when she wasn't with Kite, how she felt when she was following alongside Kite, and all the stuff going on in her real life as well.
Right, and it just occurred to me we hadn't mentioned who Black Rose was prior to this. So Black Rose is one of the party members you can have in the game. Because this is a JRPG, the party system is in full effect here. I want to say the party size is 3, correct? With one of them being occupied by Kite, the main player?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Black Rose is a character that uses like a giant, like, greatsword, right? She got like pink hair.
Yes, I believe she was called a heavy blade.
Okay, heavy blade.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's what her class was.
Okay. Now this little piece of information is important because the next entry in the series is Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, which is an anime adaptation. A lot of people kind of argue whether or not this entry is actually canonical, but according to the timeline that we have posted, that you guys can see right now, it is indeed canonical, and it follows the story of these 2 siblings, Sugo and Reina. And this is like a chibi kind of anime, so a lot of people kind of wrote it off, but essentially the story follows the twins that I just mentioned, and the 2 of them have acquired 2 legendary player character models through an event, and the 2 character models they get are Kite and Black Rose, 2 of the main pinnacle characters from the video game series, volumes 1 and 4.
Yes, but the thing is, through this contest or whatever that they never signed up for, that they never knew they were a part of, and then when they log into the world, everybody sees them, they're like, oh my god, it's Kite, oh my god, it's Black Rose, or people that actually knew about the contest were like, oh, those must be the winners. And so they often get confused by when they meet up with Orca and Balmung. Balmung's like, what are you doing here? You know, and they're all like, me? who are you talking to? They don't know. So
Yeah.
but a lot of people also don't like this show because it feels a bit incesty. Nothing bad happens in the show, like, to really give you that vibe. Is just the twins are so connected to each other that it borderlines on creepy.
Yeah, I can see that. While we'll talk, can't even speak. While we're talking about Orca, though, he is the main plot driver for Volume 1, correct? Isn't Orca Kite's real-world friend, and he goes, I think, missing?
Yes, and that happens in Infection. Kite joins the world for the first time, and meets up with his real-life friend, who just happens to be Orca in the game, and he takes him to a dungeon in a really low-level area to show him the ropes of the game, and then that's where, it's where they manage to meet. They see Aura for the first time, and Orca's confused, and so at what that was, so they go to look for her, and when they find her, he goes, "What's this?" Aura hands Orca a book, but Skaith shows up and quickly dispatches Orca after Orca, being one of the two highest level people in the game at the moment, just gets utterly destroyed by Skaith, not doing any damage, and then the book falls and passes on to Kite, which he can't use until Aura helps him along.
Gotcha. So now moving on to the next entry, we've got Dot Hack Beyond the World. Now, from my understanding, I've never actually seen this one, but it's a CGI movie, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, could you tell us a little about the plot for that one?
The CGI movie Beyond the World, it follows this character named Sora, no relation to the Sora we were talking about before, and it's a girl. She is basically a female Kite. She has the same appearance as Kite and everything, and she has the whole data drain that Kite has, and it's all about what's just this giant catastrophe. Ida and the viruses that Kite and all them fought have been long since been gone, and she herself is a new player, but on her first foray into the world, viruses start reappearing again, and nobody knows why. And that's basically just the main synopsis of the movie without spoiling anything, but it's a good watch. I highly recommend it.
Awesome. So the next entry is Dot Hack Fragment, which is an online PS2 game. Now this one is kind of interesting. If you look onto the timeline, it covers like a wide area, but essentially it's kind of like a world builder of sorts. It allows you to actually partake in the world by creating your own character, and essentially I would say explanation for this is that your character you create is pretty much one of the background characters that you would encounter in any of the other media of the series. So it's an interesting take on the game, and it provides an online aspect to a previously single player game. So
yeah, that's correct. And that's actually a really good way to look at it, is because it encompasses Dot Hack Sign and all the other ones, and it is going on at the same time. So basically, think about it as when you're watching the anime and you see all these other players walking around or doing stuff, that could be somebody who made their character on Dot Hack Fragment and is currently playing.
Yeah, so it's a really cool concept. The unfortunate part, though, like we said, it used to be on PS2, so obviously the service for that has been since disconnected, but there was actually a PC version that was created by fans, and that was really awesome. It actually ran, I want to say, until 2016, but it has since expired, so sad news.
Yeah. They're currently trying to get it back up and running, but there's really no telling when.
Yeah.
And now, as far as this video is concerned, I want to say this will be our last little bit of conversation for this video, because we don't want to keep the videos too long.
Yep.
And we're talking about the Dot Hack, the End of the World Terminal Disc, which goes from towards the beginning of Sign to a little bit after the beginning of Roots, and it encompasses all that timeline. And basically, it starts out with a narrator called his name is June Bonchoya, and his daughter is Pi, which you will actually meet her in GU, or if you want to count her appearance at the very end of .hack Roots. Either way, it explains all the happenings and goings on, and between all that and all the behind the scenes shady backroom dealings of CC Corp, paying people off to keep people quiet about the comas, and also what's been going on in the world that they may not have said in the animes or the games up to that point. And it drops you off at the very end. It drops you off into GU.
Right. So all the events that we had just listed, all of those detail the first iteration of the game, known as just the world, and all these events occur within the span of 2010 to 2017. 2017 marks the beginning of the World R2, or Revision 2, but that is a discussion for the next part of the timeline video.
And we will have that out to you guys as soon as possible. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope you come back for more.
Yeah, if you did, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And please check out Twilight Chrono's channel. Please subscribe to him and show him some support. I will see you all in the next video.
TC out.